My special Christmas story took place in 2014. My sister-in-law, Margaret, is a tour guide in Scotland, and she specializes in taking groups of tourists to the battlefields of World War I and World War II in France and in Belgium. Well, 2014 was a big year. It was the 100th anniversary of the Christmas Eve truce. Now, I'm sure you've read about that. It took place 5 months into the war. The soldiers had all hoped to be home by Christmas and were pretty miserable to find themselves on Christmas Eve in freezing cold, muddy trenches. At some point during the evening, filled with a little Christmas spirit or maybe a little whiskey, who knows, somebody bravely crept out of the trench, and eventually others followed, and they met in the middle of no man's land to exchange tobacco and chocolate, play a game of football, and sing some carols. The next day, Christmas Day, the battle raged on and carried on for the next 4 years, eventually killing over 20 million civilians and soldiers. Well, here we were, 100 years later, my daughters, Kate and Rosie, and I, boarding buses with a bunch of Scots in Glasgow and setting off through the English countryside, under the English Channel, through France, until we found ourselves in Ypres, Belgium. At 10 o'clock that night, we lit our candles and set off through the town and up into the battlefields, where we listened to a lone bagpiper. And then at midnight, surrounded by the graves of all the young boys who died there, in English and in German, we sang Silent Night. It was probably one of the most profoundly moving Christmas experiences